Page 18, Etude in 6/8. The 6/8 they're referring to is the time signature. If you look at it, you see it's 6/8. The top number, the 6, is how far we're counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. The bottom note tells us what we're counting. In this case, it's an 8th note. So there is the equivalent to 6/8 notes in every measure. If you look at the first measure, you see that. You'll find 6 of them. They beam them, in this case, in groups of 3, because a lot of times 6/8 time is felt in 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1. So they beam them that way. It's that about bomb. A lot of marches are written in 6/8 time. And you think, well, they're playing triplets, triplet, triplet, and they're not. It's 6/8 time. Key is C major. An 8th note gets a count, quarter note gets 2 counts, a dotted quarter note gets 3 counts because the quarter note gets 2 and the dot gets 1. That's 3 counts. And they got 8th rest in here, and you see all kinds of wonderful things. I want to point out one tricky thing that some people don't understand and other people never notice. If you look at the first and second ending, that's the last 2 measures with the 1 and the 2 above. Well, in the first ending, the left hand has a whole rest in it. And in the second ending, the right hand has a whole rest in it. The thing is, it's a whole rest. Now, a whole rest goes with a whole note, and a whole note is worth 4 quarter notes, or 8 eighth notes. There's only 6 notes in this measure, so what's going on? How can they use a whole rest when there's only 6 counts in the measure? And the reason is because a whole rest does double duty. It can represent the same as a whole note, or it can represent an entire measure. And a lot of times in 6/8 time, it's just real easy to just stick in a whole rest for the measure, rather than trying to figure out, okay, what rests do I need to represent 6 counts? So that's what those are for. Those are whole rests for the whole measure. Those other little rests you see are 8th rests. They're the same as in 8th notes, except you're quiet for 1 beat, right? Now here, finally, they're putting in just 1 dynamic. That's the way it should be. Not that it matters, because the melody's in both hands. But the idea is bring out the melody. Well, here it's all melody, so it doesn't matter. You bring it all out. You're starting out medium loud, and then in the first ending, did I explain first and second endings? I better. I don't think I did in this book. Take a look at the first ending. At the end of the first ending, you see the repeat sign. That is the thin and thick bars with the 2 dots. That's a repeat sign. That means go back to the beginning and play it again. So what we do is we play the first 3 measures, then we play that first ending, the measure with the 1. Then that repeat sign sends us back to the beginning again, and we play the first 3 measures again. And since we've already done the first ending once, we don't do it again. You only get to do it 1 time in this case. You jump over that and you do the second ending. That's what it means. The first time you do the first ending, the second time you do the second ending. And it can get hairier than this, so let's just stick with this for now. And that's how they do it. It saves printing. It saves room. It saves money, I suppose. Just remember that on the first ending, there's not always a repeat sign there. But for now there is. Now the tricky part of this is that the hands are moving a little bit. And you will have to look down at the keyboard, because these are big moves. And that first ending, because your hand starts out here in the right hand, you got to come all the way up to here. You're coming up an octave into this position. In the second ending, the left hand, you've been here. Now you got to go down an octave into this position to get those notes. So you get a rest to do it in, and you'll have to look down, and that's fine. But just keep in mind that we practice hand moves in piano. So if you have to practice that move to get where you want to go, practice it. Yeah, we do that a lot. So let's try this out very slowly. I put the metronome on 70, but it's beating 8th notes, because in 6/8 time an 8th note gets a count. We're going to go, and this is very slow. Yeah. So go ahead and put your hands in C position. I'll give us 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, rest. 1, 5, repeat. 5, 6.